So, why family constellations? The purpose of family constellations is to uncover the hidden dynamics of your family or relationships in an experimental way, so that the existing energy can be observed and changed where necessary, and undue stress related or reduced in the system. Okay. There is a gentle and sensitive method of allowing the family or relationship energy to reveal itself through representatives so that resolution can unfold. So this is like, we are going to create a system out of here. We are going to create a constellation. We'll understand what is a constellation. But what we are going to do is we are going to represent our family members in this space, and then we are going to understand the dynamics of the family. So it's important for us to be really open for healing and really open for allowing the healing for others also. It's really important. It's not, most of the times in family constellations, like what we see is people are little scared, and also they don't want their family problems to be known or to uncover. We need to hide. There is something secrecy. So the thing is, we need to be ready to open up. Like, we just wanted to ask someone who is sitting next to you whether you have any issues in opening up your family problems here. During family consultation, we'll anyway switch off the camera. We'll not let anyone know. But in this room, we need to have that space of trust. Right. Ask someone who is sitting next to you and check if they really trust you or really trust this room, so that we can really open up our hearts and really access those systems.
So, are you feeling comfortable? You feel you can trust everyone in this room?
Of course.
So can I.
Yeah.
Yes, open. I'm trust for everybody. I open my issues, resolve myself. Are you okay?
I'm okay with opening myself, and I trust that you will respect them.
Yeah.
There is a lot of fear.
For now, I'm finding that what family problem do I have? I'm in that
You see, the thing is, what we are going to do is, we don't see, most of the times family problems we don't know. We are children, right? Most of the times we don't know. Actually, my father's brother had undergone a divorce.
Okay.
I did not know that,
Acha.
because whatever those are like hidden secrets of the family. But most of the times in family constellations, all those hidden secrets will come out. We don't know complete information. Most of the times we see through our own blinkers.
Yeah.
We can't see the whole. We can't see the big picture. Family constellation is something where we can see the big picture and integrate the new information what we are going to get. And it's a very sacred work. Pavitra work. We need to be really pure at heart. And it's mostly done with heart, not with our intelligence. It's mostly done with intuition. It's mostly done with feeling. It's mostly done with love. Love. How many people love your families?
Emotional attachment is there.
That we will resolve. But you love your families.
Yes.
And how many people love each other's families here? Others' families.
I really don't know enough.
Yes.
That's what I don't see like.
Yeah. But here, like, we are going to understand each other and really get to know the core aspects.
Yes.
And we need to be very willing to do that. out of the heart. We are really out of the heart. We are believing that other person is healed and other person's family issues are healed.
Yeah.
How many people are ready to do that?
Yes.
Thank you. So say thank you to everyone because they are doing the
Nice.
thank you.
Thanks.
Hmm?
Thanks to you also. Yes.
Thank you. Yeah. So each of us has a mother and father, right? Are there any people who are born from sky like this?
No.
Huh?
Everybody has a mother and father.
Everybody has a mother and father. Even God has to be born from mother's womb.
Yes.
Balakrishna dialogue, na?
Balakrishna sir.
Not Balakrishna sir.
Hero.
He used to be a Tollywood hero.
Oh,
He
that's
used
a-
to tell even God will have to be born from mother's womb. Huh? So, nice, famous dialogue. And we have a family, right? And we all too often take that for granted.
Yes.
Hmm? Like mostly this is the scenario with human beings.
Yes.
Whatever we get, we take it for granted.
Granted.
Whatever we don't have, we run for it.
Yes.
Hmm? And at our beginnings and family circumstances shape the very foundation of our life and future potentials for success or failure, health or illness. See, just forgive me, there are some spelling mistakes or grammar mistakes.
No, don't worry
Huh?
about that.
And happiness or misery. Hmm? Like these family structures and the energy in the families create lot of influence
Yeah.
on our future. Even though let's say you are detached, we are talking, right? Men can be easily detached.
Yeah.
No, men cannot be easily detached.
So easy.
So easy. Even Bhagirath has done something for his family. Huh? Right?
Yeah.
So family is something which is really intricate, really important to be healed and to be really mastered. This is, we are Gruhasthashram. We are all Gruhasthas,
Yes.
right? The biggest lesson of Gruhastha is mastery of love. What is it?
Mastery of love.
Mastery of love. Mastery of love, because it's very difficult, right?
Yes.
People who we love are the one who hurt us more. Hmm? And there is a lot of learning, lot of understanding in dealing with these relationships and dealing with the love, dealing with understanding. We'll understand something about that also, about love and other things. But this is important for us to understand that families really create the base for us. We came from mother's womb, we were nurtured as a children, and they have really created the base for us. And always this base, how we look at this base, will determine our future. Whether we are going to have good financial outcomes, whether we are going to succeed in our work, and whatever it is influenced by this energy. This family energy plays a very important role. You can easily say that I am detached, but no, you are intellectually saying you are detached, but emotionally you are attached.
Yes.
And most of the times Himalayas में जो yogis रहते हैं ना, they are the most attached people. Like when you are inside the system, it's okay. But when you are outside the system, you always think about it. When someone is, it is like there is a nice thing called when the shoe fits. When the shoe fits, you don't think about the shoe. The shoe doesn't fit, and it is little longer and little tighter.
We will think over it.
Then you will think about it. Yeah, this is what happens in families. So even whoever has run away from the family systems, right? All those yogis, they again have to take a birth.
They have to.
Yeah,
Yes.
to really master, because that is the real game on this planet.
One film line is there. भगवान से भागते फिरते हो, नहीं संसार से भागते फिरते हो, भगवान को तुम क्या पाओगे? पूरा फुलफिलमेंट नहीं है तो क्या?
So whatever samsara is nirvana, and nirvana need to be found in samsara. And there is lot of things we can learn, and especially family constellation will really help us to liberate ourselves. Be in the family, as what Krishna said. Be in that. Certainly don't remember the sloka, but it says we have to be that water drop on the lotus flower. Yeah.
Yes.
Detachment is necessary. It's not like we cannot be completely detached, but we need to know how to be detached. So there are some sutras, there are some understandings, there are some insights where really we can play in the family, stay in the family, and stay unattached. So we'll understand those things slowly. The quality of the life we live is rooted in the family facts. So, whatever the life we are living, we are trying to replicate whatever, reenact or relive whatever we had lived, our parents had lived. Most of the time we are half mother and half father. Right or wrong?
Right.
When husband and wife gets married, on a bed 6 people will sleep. Wife's parents, husband's parents, and wife and husband. And 6 people are sleeping on the bed, and there is a huge chaos. There is a lot of things, because there is always this conflict of acceptance, unacceptance, respect. A lot of things are coming, but we are still carrying our parents in the minds. Knowingly or unknowingly, we all hold the set of images from our family. We have some perceptions, like some perceptions has been told by some family members, or some perceptions we make about our family members. We make some judgments about them that color our actions, decisions, and responses for years and even generations to come. So whatever, how we perceive our family is going to really influence us in taking some decisions. These decisions are made not because of us, because of the circumstances in the family. Am I making sense? The problem is that those images we carry are often fictitious interpretations of the facts. So how many people have seen their mother and father do romance?
Not at all, never.
So how were you born?
I used to wonder. I remember having an argument with my friend where, sex and how babies are formed was totally alien to me for a very long time. And I was told that, an angel, when my brother was born, that an angel had come and, put my brother in my mommy's tummy, and that's how babies are born. So when my friend told me how actually babies are born, I wouldn't believe her. I told her no, it is not possible, because I've never ever seen my mother and father even sitting next to each other. Forget about anything else.
Yeah. That's the thing, we have a picture mother and father were never next to each other.
Yeah,
That's the picture, but that's not the fact.
that's not the fact.
The fact is something different.
Yeah.
They do romance after we sleep.
Yes.
But in Mary Mata, Bible in Mary Mata, they told Mary Mata did not marry.
No, Joseph was Mary's husband.
Okay.
are married.
Yeah, Joseph was Mary's husband. But the scriptures say that she did not conceive the
Yes, exactly.
natural way that other women do. Right?
It's okay. Bible also says that is flat.
Even
It is seen.
Karan's conception also just happened with the bones.
Who?
Karna.
वो सन से
She was not even married then, huh? Kunti.
Kunti
was not
was
even
not
married
married.
then.
But I have seen a film where Surya and Kunti had a
Surya
romance.
Kunti.
There was a song also.
There was a song also.
So that's the thing. Like, you know, there is a lot of imaginary picture. Like most of the times we don't see the truth. We don't see the truth. We live in our own assumptions. And even with families it's the same thing. So we have all these assumptions, all these pictures, all this interpretation. That is causing us some issues. So it's really for us to see the truth. We need to have a lot of courage and a lot of understanding to understand what is the real truth. Family constellations is all about knowing what is exactly. It's not what we think.
Right.
So that is we are trying to learn here. It's not projection. Family constellation is not about projecting what we think. It's about being open and witnessing and understanding and seeing what is there really.
Right.
What is that picture? And then that picture will give us a new insight, a new perception. Yep. So these images, whatever we had assumed, right? That mother and father were never together, they never like each other, or whatever can be. Mind and soul. I always had picture of like, you know, my father and mother always loves my brother only. They never love me. This was always my deep impression. Like this, we keep these images. These images are embedded in our body, mind and soul, and are made of some memory. One memory has impacted these kind of images inside us. Memory that is often polluted by shock, trauma, blind love, loyalty, and interpretations of the child we were then. At that point of time, we had made these interpretations. At this point of time, we had made these assumptions. Through this, all these things have polluted us. This shock, there was a shock. There was a trauma. Like we are not seeing actual things. There is a blind love. We'll understand what is blind love and what is enlightened love soon. But there is a blind love. Out of blind love and out of loyalty, we have huge loyalty towards our parents.
Unquestionable.
Unquestionable loyalty. What happened? So, this loyalty and these interpretations and this blind love had made the child to see things and understand things in his own way instead of understanding the big picture, instead of understanding the real truth. He has seen only some truth and made something, some picture out of it and lived with it, that belief. And it's important for us to change that. Yeah. These memories are imprinted deeply into our neurobiology. Whatever the images or whatever memories we imprinted, like it creates some kind of chemical reactions inside our bodies and it created a pattern inside us. Right? The neural integration is at the heart of every therapeutic process attempting to heal or transform human energy states. So whatever we are doing healing, right? All the healing, what we are trying to do is we are trying to change these neural connections. There is a neural connection, neural path, which has been wired. Neural wiring happened. Now we are trying to change the neural wiring.
Good.
Yeah. So how do we purify an old memory? Change our interpretations, reframe our understandings, or recreate new life-affirming images that can take us forward into a creative future. How can we do that? Can we really do that?
Maybe.
We
I
can
think
do
so.
We can do that.
We can do that.
Have you ever wondered why you do the things you do, the way you do?
I think they are unconscious patterns that are now set,
Yeah,
like you just said, wired into you.
yeah,
And so you just keep doing it.
yeah.
You know?
That's true.
Practically.
Or why you feel drawn to a particular path.
Mm.
Have you had these questions sometime?
Yes.
And why your intimate relations and friendships turn out the way in which they do? Most of the time it repeats, right? Same pattern.
Mm.
Yes.
Hmm?
Yes.
So, have you ever asked these questions? Think about your life. So, what springs to your mind? Your family and your work, your friendships, your relationships, your successes and disappointments. Can you see a familiar pattern or rhythm appearing before you as you reflect it?
Yes.
Hmm? Can share like what you had observed, the pattern.
I think I shared one yesterday that I never valued or appreciated attention that I would get from certain people, but I always sought attention from people who were not giving it to me.
This is another one pattern you had.
That was that pattern. So I was always getting into relationships where they were not fulfilling. You know, I had the choice to get into relationships with people who loved me, but I chose to get into relationships with people whom I loved and who didn't love me back.
Actually, you did not love them. You were attracted.
I was attracted to them.
Yeah.
When you feel attracted towards something, you want that, right?
Yeah.
So,
Now you can look at this attraction.
Hmm.
If you can look at this attraction,
Hmm.
can I ask you some personal questions?
Of course.
So, whom did this person resemble? Your father, mother, or uncle? Someone?
You know, I also do a lot of introspection since I had a major failure in my very close relationship. I get carried away by beauty very easily. So, beauty, the sense that social standards of beauty. So, good looking people, I get really attracted to good looking people. You know? And of course, I looked for attributes of my father
Hmm.
in the male person that I wanted in my life.
Hmm.
I wouldn't even say unconsciously or what. I think I was even consciously looking for those attributes.
Hmm.
Although my relationship with my father had a lot of changed dynamics over the years, he has always still been my hero, and I've always idolized him for whatever he is.
Hmm.
And so I think I looked for those things in my partner.
Hmm.
But the exact opposite I attracted. The exact opposite. I thought this person had all this, but he had everything the other way around. My father is a very responsible person towards his family. He has a lot of character in terms of loyalty. He's a very, very firmly loyal person. And these two things are completely missing in my partner. No sense of responsibility and no inclination towards loyalty at all. So it hit me really badly. that I misinterpreted and I made the wrong choice. And yet I wouldn't want to give it up. Sure. Despite knowing this is wrong, I held on to it and I held on to it and I held on to it. Not letting go, not letting go, not. That has been till a very long time. I suffered and I suffered and I suffered and I grieved and then realization dawned little by little that I am on the wrong path and I need to let go. And I need to let go. And the moment I let go, I think healing started. Yet at the same time, the value that I wanted to see in the other person rise for me also started coming a little bit, though not completely.
So you have identified some pattern, right?
Hmm.
That's good.